So a long while ago, I made an AS Val build, and I think that goes back to like, oh god, December 14, 2024. Damn, time flies by too quickly. And it was time for me to revamp the build as it is quite dated as of now. And today I want to present my new AS Val build to all of you so that hopefully you may go and shred people with it in Delta Force. So starting off with a blank slate here, the AS Val looks kind of sad with the really small mag, but I digress. You don't have that many attachments to put on the AS Val, but we're going to start off with the barrel. This one, literally no downsides, and you only gain 2 slots, so just install it, and also gives you an extra +2 meters in range and extra control, which is great because the AS Val does kick quite a bit. Actually, if we go and look at the recoil pattern of it, you can see it doesn't seem that bad, but because the fire rate on this thing is absolutely insane at 972 RPM, you're going to feel that recoil a lot. So that's what we're going to try and mitigate the most here, is the recoil, and make it as controllable as possible. Next, we're going to go with the foregrip. So I tried out many combinations of foregrips here, like ones that reduce the vertical recoil, some that reduce the horizontal recoil, and I came out with the X25U being the top one here just because it controls both of them, and I felt like I was performing much better with that. It does slightly reduce the handling and the stability, but we're going to make up for that stability a little bit later. So install that. For the magazine, you really don't want to skimp out. You want to go with the 45 round mag. Again, the fire rate is so fast, you're going to be absolutely chewing through ammo, and you don't want to have to reload too often, so just slap that on. And then we're going to put on the mag mount that has no downsides. For the rear grip, I chose to go with the AK Heavy Tower grip because I wanted to get positives across the board and also unlock that grip mount for the base. There are a lot of other grips here, and I tried a few, but ultimately this one just offers more. And then I put on the balanced grip base. Now I tried the stable grip base at first, but I found the handling was getting too low for my liking. But if you find that you're getting a lot of aim punch when you're getting fired at, you might want to try putting this one on, which will give you a lot more stability at the cost of some handling. If you're okay with that longer ADS time, then this shouldn't be too much of an issue. But considering we're playing really aggressive with this thing because the range on it isn't great, we're just going to go with this one, which also bumps up our accuracy. For the stock, now I chose to go with the 416 stable stock. The reason being, I really wanted to bump up a little bit of that stability to not get just aim punched to hell when people are firing back at me. And of course, it also gives you extra control at the cost of handling. So go ahead and install that. For the optic, now I chose to go with the OKP7 for this one because as far as I understand, yeah, this is a Russian weapon, this is a Russian sight, so I wanted to fit the aesthetic of the gun, so install that. Charging handle, literally no downsides, it only gives you +1 handling. And then finally, we're going to put something on the upper rail here. Don't worry, it doesn't block the sight at all. I put the green one on here, but you can put any of them. It does reduce your handling when you have it equipped, but if you do have it on, it reduces or makes your ADS time faster by 50 milliseconds, so go ahead and install that. Now, if we take a look at the calibration here for the barrel, considering how slow the muzzle velocity is, you're really going to want to put that +10 millimeters to get +9% muzzle velocity and extra weight to increase the firing stability, as this weapon, again, fires so fast, you're going to be feeling that if you don't have enough stability on it. For the foregrip, we're going to go with +50 and -20 millimeters to get extra ADS movement speed and +3.84% extra control. For the rear grip, we're going with +50 grams, -20 millimeters to get extra hipfire aim speed and extra control. For the stock, we're going with +50 grams and +3 slots, extra firing stability, extra control, which is awesome. And then finally, the optic, -20 millimeters in eye relief. If you find that there's not enough zoom, then just bump this up a little bit and it'll give you a little bit of extra magnification on your RDS. Now let's look at the details pane really quickly. So you're getting 65 control here, so we bumped it up by 22. As you can see, a lot shorter in terms of vertical recoil. You're still getting that nasty horizontal recoil somewhat, but overall I felt it was much better than just slapping something that would only negate the horizontal recoil. I felt like this was much better. For the handling, now it's not great, it's at 388 milliseconds for the current ADS speed, but factor in the 50 milliseconds that is given by the laser, that brings you down to 338 milliseconds. For the ADS stability, +5, so you're not getting a ton of extra stability. You're still gonna get some aim punch when somebody is actually hitting you when you're firing at them, but overall pretty decent. This gun shoots so freaking fast that generally speaking, if you start firing them first, you will be the one that comes out on top. And then for the accuracy, considering that you want to play aggressive with this thing, because this is not a weapon that you want to use at range, getting the accuracy up to 73 is a welcome addition as well, because you're going to be able to hip fire people down at pretty decent ranges. In order to use this AS Val build, you will need to level it up to 46 to unlock the barrel, which is the latest unlock for this. Now the AS Val, again, play aggressive, take a character that can actually push enemies, so Viren, excellent, because you have that propulsion jump. Even Tempest might be good because you have that combat roll. I use this as Nox when I was playing on Shafted, because obviously Nox is very good now that he has 2 whirlwind discs. You can absolutely rain down damage on the enemies if they're around corners and stuff like that, so very, very good. And obviously you get his ultimate, which increases your movement speed. So pretty much what you want to do with the AS Val is you want to play aggressive, because you're not going to be competing at range, considering the damage model on this thing that only does 20 damage up to 22 meters, and then the damage severely falls off after that, and you're only doing 38 damage to the head and 16 to the lower body. Now you still can take some fights at range, ideally when people aren't shooting at you or not looking at you whatsoever, because if they start firing back, you're probably going to have a little bit of a difficult time controlling that recoil, which again, there's only so much you can do considering how many attachments can go on this weapon. You're still going to feel it a lot if you're firing at longer ranges, just because the fire rate is so incredibly fast. But overall, the AS Val still absolutely shreds in Delta Force, and I think this build, I prefer it to my initial build. I was much less knowledgeable back then on all the attachments that are on offer in Delta Force, so I think this one performs arguably a lot better than my previous build, albeit both, you know, you can make do with either of them. As per usual, the weapon share code will be in the description down below, as well as in the top pinned comment. Feel free to leave your suggestions for upcoming builds in the comment section as well. I'll leave you with a few highlight clips of me using this specific build. In any case, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.
Silent assault.
Feels good to be back.
You are tanks. They're down! Shred them! Tango down! Throwing whirlwind disc! Whirlwind disc released!
All ramped up. Let's take this up a notch. That's my speed. Enemy incoming!
gonna be fine. Keep quiet.